about India?
So talking about India, I think I moved when I was 16, 17, right? So I used to live with my grandparents for 2 years. Uh, I think it was my 11th and 12th where I took physics, chemistry, maths, biology, science. And it was, everybody tells it is hell, and it is hell because, it's a lot to study, and, there's so much pressure on you because, people think you're going to do doctor and you're going to do engineer and there
Engineering.
is CET, and, it's a lot of pressure. So those 2 years were pretty quiet. It was just me going to college and coming
And
back
study.
and studying and stuff like that. But I think my life in India picked up after those 2 years when I started my bachelor's in Manipal. Manipal
Mm-hmm.
was again a good place. It was no different than, it had a good vibe. Then a metropolitan city, the 5 kilometer radius. It was really good. You had the lifestyle you wanted, and then you had everything there too. So uh, it was obviously different from Bahrain when
Mm-hmm.
when the people around, and you obviously I got, so I'm not very, so when I came to US, right, I thought, like, people talk about culture shock, right, when you come here. I was not very culturally shocked because I moved from Bahrain to India, and I was
Mm-hmm.
already like culturally shocked
In
when I was
India?
17. Yeah,
Okay.
because I used to travel by a van that used to that had AC in it, and I used to go like a king. And then my first day of college in India, I'm going in a bus that's like filled with people, and there is no space to breathe. Right? So it was it. I was already culturally shocked the first day,
Yeah.
so I was like expecting it. I was like, what can get worse than that, right? So when I came here, I was not very culturally shocked when I came here. I was already expecting. I had already seen it back then.
Yeah. For me, when I came to US, the I feel like not a culturally shock, but the different thing that happens between here and US, like the small thing is like in India with my family, like say we all are sitting for lunch or dinner on a table, right? And if the food is served, like if my plate food is served, like if the rice and curry is served, I can start eating. I don't have to wait for the eighth or ninth person in the table to get the food and all of us start eating together, right? So as soon as my plate is full, I can start eating. Versus here, when I went out to restaurant with my friends for the first time, and when the entree came, my entree came first, and when I started eating, everybody looked at me like I was an alien. And then I asked my buddy, I'm like, wait, is that not a thing here? He's like, no, you gotta wait for everyone to get the food. So these kind of minute things like is like I would say a culture shock or a cultural
Yeah,
learning,
cultural
right?
learning,
So
exactly.
these are the few things that
Yeah, and
I
I think
came across.
like even opening the door, we
Right.
don't do that back
We don't do
home,
that back home.
but here we make sure that we make sure to look back, who's
Open the door.
open the door.
Yeah.
And I think the big culturally different thing is the stop sign here.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think people stop at the
People stop at the stop
stop sign.
sign.
I think
And yeah, it's
that is
not done
something not done even
in
back
India.
home.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like small learning
Yeah,
curves,
small
right?
learnings, exactly.